The NBA Finals is finally here, the epic conclusion to the NBA season. And as we all know, all 32 teams' main goal is to win a championship. More like 20 teams if you consider the ones that are tanking. But anyways, the primary goal of a team is to win a championship eventually. But for some players on those teams, their secondary goals are the accolades, the awards, the trophies that'll solidify them in NBA history as one of the greats of all time. Well, with every single award now announced, we must do our yearly ritual here on the channel where we talk about things all interesting basketball with your boy, Alvini Linguine, while we going over the weirdest NBA award candidates this season. And for those who are seeing this for the first time, the goal is to look at every major award ballot and find basically who doesn't belong there, in my opinion. And as usual, be sure to leave your thoughts on the ballots or award situations yourself. But as usual, before we get into that, you already know what I have to do. The like goal of this video is usual 1,000 likes to help support the channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram for channel news and updates, and follow my Twitch for weekly streams. With all that out of the way, you already know who it is. Wallet!
He incurred an injury dealing with weights in the weight room, so he's stitched up in the left hand doing all this.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Now let's start off with the first award announced by the NBA, the Rookie of the Year Award. And as we all know, the Rookie of the Year Award is usually a very difficult thing to choose, especially when you have a draft class as deep as this one. The winner of this award ended up being Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors, who drafted him at 4th. He won due to his all-around impact for the Raptors, and a very common argument I heard online was the fact that the Raptors ended up being the higher seed in comparison to the second place recipient, Evan Mobley, who was only 5 first-place votes back and 15 total votes back from Scottie. Back in 3rd, you have Cade Cunningham, who wasn't consistently in first place considerations all season due to his inconsistencies all throughout the season. He was even the same guy who took 21 threes to finally make his first one in the NBA. Not a real claim to why he didn't win it, but it's one I like to use. From there, you only had 3 other people who's recognized for their votes for the Rookie of the Year. Jalen Green at 4th, who only had 3 total votes. Franz Wagner at 5th with only 2 votes. And finally, with a singular vote, our winner for the weirdest award candidate of the Rookie of the Year Award for the 2022 NBA season, we have Herbert Jones from the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, I don't believe there should be any blowback for me saying this, but there is no way that Herbert Jones should have been considered a Rookie of the Year candidate. At the top, we have 3 perfect rookies who showed why they was meant to be a top 3 draft pick in their draft, except Scottie Barnes, but you know, he's drafted at 4th. Just forget what I just said. Scottie Barnes is the all-around player and being top 5 in rookies in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Then you have Evan Mobley, who provided top-tier defensive play and being 6th place in the NBA in blocks per game, and as a rookie and 8th in total blocks, while at the same time averaging a near double-double. And finally, Cade, who after a slump showed why he was deserving of his first spot selection in the draft, averaging 17 points with led all rookies, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. This is and should be easily the cream of the crop, and choosing anyone else definitely shows some type of bias in some way. Which brings me back to Herb Jones. Now, as the Alabamian who knew of Herb and watched Herb in college, I knew he'd be a great addition to a team come draft time, and that's exactly what the Pelicans got. A great lockdown defender with a lot of potential to be a 3-and-D master. But calling him a Rookie of the Year candidate is wrong on many levels, and it's because he is a, say it with me, role player. No offense to him, but compared to the main 3, they're on a different league compared to her. But as usual, I gotta find the person who voted for him, because they usually out themselves when it comes to this type of thing, because they made a very controversial pick. And guess what? It was as easy as a quick search on twitter.com, because meet Kevin Pelton, NBA writer for ESPN, who voted for Herb Jones for a 3rd place vote over Cade Cunningham. He never explained himself officially on this matter. However, I found a Twitter thread that somewhat explains his rationale.
A reminder that Pelton picked Herb Jones, who averaged 9.5, 3.8, 2.1 over at Cade Cunningham _ for Rookie of the Year. These NBA writers need to put down the spreadsheets and slide rules and watch a couple games.
Did you watch the game on Wednesday where he dominated defensively to help his team to the playoffs? I watched that one.
Yes. But Cade is special, and if he was on a playoff caliber team, he would be doing special things to help his team win.
I think he's going to be special. He's not as a 20-year-old rookie.
Put Cade on the Pelicans and Herb on the Pistons. You really don't think the Pels would be better and the Pistons would be worse? If winning is going to be taken into the equation, BTW the Pels were still 10 games under .500, then the team around rookies needs to be as well.
I think both teams would probably be worse. The Pistons needed Cade to create a lot of difficult shots, certainly, but that skill wouldn't provide much value to the Pels except when Ingram was out because they have better shot creators than Cade as a rookie.
But yeah, as you can imagine, he got a lot of shit for this on Twitter and Reddit, and again, this is exactly why I do not like some of the niggas that are able to vote on these type of matters. Now we are on to the DPOY, which is known as the Defensive Player of the Year Award. Now the DPOY has gone through many meanings through the years. Some DPOYs are more concrete in some years, but nowadays, as the NBA becomes more versatile, this conversation becomes a lot more heated than usual, especially when we consider the dialogue of Rudy Gobert winning it for the third time last year. But now we have a new winner, Marcus Smart. Now once again, this had the NBA scene in a frenzy, and for me personally, I don't even mind the pick like that. I'll just put it as simply as this though. He's the main defensive player on the best defensive team in the league. For Rudy, all three of those came because he was the most imposing defensive player on one of the better defensive teams. But what is funny to me is all the people voted here for. We have a ballot of 11 people for the DPOY. 3 of them are Celtics players and 2 of them are Bucks players. Now, unlike the Rookie of the Year one, I won't go over all the cases of this, but I'll highlight a few. For the Celtics trio, obviously, they all serve a major purpose for the nucleus that is the best defensive team in the league, but Marcus got the nod as the best or most effective. Jaren Jackson Jr. got the most blocks in the NBA and got 40 more than the next person, being funny enough, Rudy Gobert. Bam, of course, was top 3 last year and provided major impact and is skillful as one of the best defenders in the league due to his versatility. And Matisse is Matisse, I guess. But for the weirdest DPOY candidate here for the 2002 season, I have former DPOY winner Draymond Green. Now, some of y'all may be thinking I'm tripping, but as always, I will try to make my case. Now, recently, Draymond was inducted to the NBA's All-Defensive Second Team, and here's my initial reaction to it on my Twitch stream. So Giannis, Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert, Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart, that's cool. Drew Holiday, Matisse Thybulle, Bam Adebayo, Robert Williams. I don't think anyone has a problem with this. Oh, wait, DeJounte Murray. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Drew Holiday, Draymond Green. Draymond Green played 40 games. Nah, take out Draymond, nigga. What? Draymond played 40 games. What? Draymond played 40 games this year. This nigga barely played half the season. Nah, take out Draymond. Take out Draymond, put somebody else. Boom. That's how you fix that. How many games did he play this season? Oh, wait. I'm on the NBA's website. Wrong website. He played like 40-some games. He played 46 games. In this 82 in the season, he barely played half the season. Nah, take out Draymond. Now, my point for this still stands. Yes, I know Draymond has had all the impact in the world for the Warriors still. He's one of the 7 players who have averaged a steal and a block this year. However, according to the NBA, he doesn't qualify due to how many games he has played. And I agree with that. Just like how LeBron James was cut off in the points per game rate due to his lack of games played, which is funny because he played less games than LeBron, Draymond should get the same treatment in the case of his status on the DPOY and all defensive team placement. Is it safe to say that he would do the same thing if he did play 82 games? Yeah, sure, but are we going off of implications or what he actually did? Well, I guess this is more of a question for you than it is for me, but all in all, he's the weirdest one to be voted on this ballot. And yes, I know it was only a 3rd place vote, but my point still stands. Now we go into one of the more fun awards for me, the Most Improved Player. It's always cool to celebrate the development of a player in one way or another, and this award does that well. Now, we saw a lot of great stories when it came to all the players listed here. DeJounte Murray, Darius Garland, Jordan Poole, Desmond Bane, Tyrese Maxey, Miles Bridges, Anthony Simons, and the list goes on. But the winner of this, until he gave this trophy to his teammate, was Ja Morant, who won by a comfortable margin voting votes wise. Now, for once, we saw a big debate on this due to the volume of come-ups this season for a few players. For me, I thought that someone like a Jordan Poole or Darius Garland should have received more credit from voters due to Jordan's development as a shooter and shot creator, and for Darius being one of the better point guards with his playmaking skills and rise in efficiency shooting-wise himself. But the trophy was given to Ja Morant. Now, do I agree with this pick? Honestly, yeah, I don't believe there's a wrong answer. That could have been done between like 5 people. Now, of course, you will always have the people who disagree with you, but just know, in life, you can't please everybody. But in the case of Ja Morant, he totally transformed his game on all levels after his sophomore slump last year. He is having career best marks in his efficiency from all 3 levels. He's one of the leading scorers in the NBA and in the paint as a guard, and if it wasn't for how many games he missed due to injuries, another knock on his claim for winning this award, being tied as the lowest game player for anyone that's gotten the vote, he would be top 10 in scoring per game in the NBA. But again, everyone here has their own rhyme or reason for being a potential MIP candidate, but the elephant in the room is Mr. Max Strus, the winner of the weirdest candidate of the most improved player. Now, it should be quite simple to say why, but his improvement isn't very noticeable compared to other people. Now, of course, he got a lot of opportunities with the Heat and shot better from 3. That's basically all he has to show for it compared to others on this list. If anything, his teammate Tyler Hero should have got more consideration, but considering that he ended up winning the 6th Man of the Year, I don't think a lot of media people wanted to vote for him in another award, even though we've seen it happen plenty of times in history. But I'm just going to stop there. But what's done is done. But speaking of 6th Man of the Year, and now we are on to the 6th Man of the Year, which is given to the best bench player with the best impact towards their team. And what's the better definition of that than the winner, Tyler Hero, who in my opinion should have won it unanimously, but Cameron Johnson and Kevin Love voters decided not to do that. But one little thing to roast myself, all season I would talk about how Tyler Hero wasn't a 6th man because he was playing the 3rd most minutes on his team. But then when I checked the winners from past years and some of the minutes they played, my views changed immediately. But I will still say that thought still lingers in my head every once in a while. Anyways, Tyler Hero should have elevated his team's play with his scoring efforts off the bench, averaging 20 points a game, which is only 0.7 off for being the leading scorer of his whole entire team. So I think his case for winning this is super cut and dry. No debate here. If you voted for anybody else, you're stupid. But with many other players who was voted for this, someone had to be the outlier, and that outlier is clearly Maxi Kleber of the Dallas Mavericks, and simply because of his efficiency. I want you to know that Maxi Kleber has shooting splits of 39% from the field and 32% from 3, while only averaging 7 points a game. Once again, I know it's only a 3rd place vote, but there is no way a person is saying Maxi Kleber was way more valuable to his team than the other plethora of options, especially when you consider, again, you had Cameron Johnson and Kevin Love. You could have just had those 3 right there with little debate for anybody else. But just like I said in the last edition, it was probably because someone within the Mavericks organization as a writer was voting for him. Not much to say on this award due to there not being any debate for this award with anybody, so let's just save the best for last. And now we have the best for last, the most valuable player. Now, honestly, the most valuable player seems to have many meanings in the case of the media members who votes for them. And that could not be any closer from the truth, with the MVP this year going to Nikola Jokic, who won it 2 years in a row. Now, as usual, there's huge debate on who should have won it between himself and Joel Embiid, the league's leading scorer and the first center to do that since Shaq. The arguments can go anywhere. Oh, Embiid has the better record. Well, Jokic was only 3 games behind. Oh, Embiid is higher in his conference. Well, Jokic plays in a harder one. Oh, Embiid scored 30 points per game. Well, Jokic provided much more for his team outside of scoring offensively and had the better season than last year. So that begs the question, is this an accolades MVP or a carry job MVP? Or as I like to call them, a Russell Westbrook MVP? Well, I asked my Instagram followers and they voted more towards the carry job narrative, but the votes were very even. Honestly, I give it to Jokic just because of what he had to go through. And to the Embiid fans out there, no, Ben Simmons being out doesn't equal up to him losing both MPJ and Jamal Murray to injuries. Please, don't use that fucking argument to me. But anyways, we have 12 people on this MVP ballot. However, 3 of them only getting first place votes, and Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. Everybody here at one point or another had a case for MVP. However, there is one person that I noticed that doesn't belong here. And that person is LeBron James, the winner of the weirdest MVP candidate of the 2020 2022 season. Now, I have many points to why I don't believe he should be on this ballot in the first place. My first one being that he only played 56 games this season. Now, according to that, that means he doesn't even qualify for his stats to even count this season for the most part when it comes to running for league leaders, which LeBron James could have been in the running for the league's leading scorer. But let's be real here. LeBron's season was full of hero moments as he had to single-handedly sometimes save the Lakers from being pure bottom-feeding status in the NBA a bunch of times, mainly due to the acquisition of Russell Westbrook and the constant injuries of Anthony Davis. LeBron James scored 30-plus points in 34 games out of his 56 games played this season, and guess what? Even with that, the Lakers only had a record of when he did this of 16-18. He was doing all of that and was still losing games constantly. Now, if the one person who gave him a 5th place vote was giving to him because of the carry job, then let's again assess things. LeBron James in those 56 games he played had a record of 25-31. That does not sound like an MVP level player to me, or at least an MVP season to me. The Lakers ended the season as the 11th seed. They didn't even make the participation trophy tournament called the NBA play-in, yet someone thought he was so deserving of having something as valuable as an MVP vote. Only thing this MVP does for LeBron is make it to where he had a season where he never has gotten a vote. This man has gotten 19 straight years of having a MVP vote. But again, LeBron James should be nowhere near the MVP conversation in the slightest this season. Anyone who disagrees with me needs to get LeBron James' dick out of their mouth, because that's for Savannah James, not for you. Now, remember when I said that last one was the best for last? No. This one is the best for last, because now we are adding the newest section of this series, due to me now having the resources to find these type of things, aka twitter.com, as I am now able to see who voted for every person on every single award. And with that power, I want to see some of the worst all NBA votes on the voters ballots. But to keep things short, I'm going to talk about 3 people who made some very weird selections for their all NBA teams in some sort of way. First off, let's start off with Frank Isola, a sports writer for ESPN and SiriusXM sports radio personality. Now, unfortunately, he was allowed to vote on the all NBA teams, and I personally had a problem with it. And it wasn't anything on the first and second team, no. It was the person that he put on the third team. And actually, not person, it's the people he put on the third team, which is where he put Desmond Bane and Mikal Bridges at the forward spot. Now, let's just talk about the clear issue here. Both of these guys aren't even the guys on their team, and for one of them to even be put alongside their first option counterparts mean they would have to be basically as good as them, or like a 1A, 1B type of duo. And guess what? They're not. Not at all. Unless you're a Rudy Gobert type of player at the center spot, there is no way a wing defender is making an all NBA team. And for Desmond Bane, you're just smoking straight cocaine saying that Desmond Bane is deserving of an all NBA team over the many wings and guards in the NBA, especially if you're saying he's deserving of that, like his teammate Ja Morant. Next, we have Jalen Rose, who put LeBron James, and again, the leader of the 11-seeded Lakers in the all-NBA second team spot. And most infamously, this dude put Kyrie Irving at the all-NBA third team spot. Kyrie Swervin' Irving, who played 29 games, Jalen. 29. And lastly, we have good old Kendrick Perkins, Mr. I'm not for everyone, I ain't trying to be. Yeah, I see that, because your ballots are gross. You heard me right. This nigga had a hell of a time doing this multiple times. Putting D-Book over Giannis for the MVP, putting Kevin Durant on an all-defensive team, Jaylen Brown on an all-NBA team, and the cherry on top that people are killing him for online, putting Trey Murphy the third on an all-rookie ballot over his teammate Herb Jones. All I'm going to say is, I just can't with these niggas, bro. I just can't. I know you're all going to say that even if we do get rid of them, it won't make a difference. But as you can see here, there's a lot of dumbasses in the NBA media sphere. And then giving them powers to make decisions like this is where you end up. You can make the debate that they won't go anywhere, and again, it won't make a difference if we get rid of them, but the fact that it happens anyway still means that there is a problem. It's one thing to have an opinion on something that might be slightly different from the norm, but it's another thing to go entirely left field with what you have to say. Like, Jalen Rose is a former NBA player, a good NBA player at that. This nigga put Kyrie Irving as one of the best guards in the NBA in the 2002 NBA season. This nigga barely played a third of the season, and he has the audacity to put him there. 29 games. This nigga played 29 games and willfully sat out for most of them because him not wanting to take the vaccine. 29, and he still says, yeah, man, one of the best guards in the NBA, all NBA third team. Like, just put me on there, bro. Like, let me fix some things. Just put me on the voters ballot and let's make some things happen. What? Oh my, what's that one meme? Oh, hell no. Who invited this nigga? Why is LeBron James here? Come on, really? The NBA couldn't stop fucking gawking on LeBron James' dick for one season? For one season. You could not stop gawking on LeBron James' cock. Zay said it was first. Lamau, add that sound. Add that sound. What? Wait, is there the other ones too? No, why? Stop sucking LeBron James's dick. Lord. He was the 11th seed. Where's the voting thing? LeBron James, stop sucking LeBron James's dick.
Please get LeBron James' nutsack out of your mouth.
Why does he have 2 first-team votes? Get his fucking dick out of your mouth. God dog. He even has second-team votes. Like, that's ridiculous. Okay, so, yeah, if we're talking about Pascal Siakam and LeBron James being forwards, Jimmy Butler should have made it then. Yeah, I'm about to say, if we're talking about Jimmy Butler being a forward, then yeah, Jimmy Butler should have definitely made this. Dick Rider. Yeah, too many niggas be sucking LeBron James' dick in the fucking... Because look at this, right? Look at this. Look, out of all the teams you see here, what's one thing they have in common compared to LeBron James? Out of every single team here, compared to LeBron James, what is the one thing they have in common? They're all in the playoffs. They're all in the playoffs outside of LeBron. Yet LeBron still finds his way into an all-NBA team. Like, Lord, stop. Just gonna do this and say, please, NBA media voters, get LeBron James's BBC out your goddamn mouth. There we go. Boom. That's my tweet. Go do whatever with it. Now again, I must always reiterate that this is truly my opinion at the end of the day. If y'all say that anyone who gets a vote should be congratulated for their recognition, then that's cool. But let's be real here. The reason this video is made every year is because there are very odd examples of people who get votes. And when we see the people who do get votes for that person, then you start to understand that the voting system is kind of bad, or the people they allow to vote are odd. Check out my video from 2 years ago where someone thought that Andre Drummond of the Cavaliers should have won Defensive Player of the Year. That is a perfect example of some of these weirdos they allowed to fucking vote on these ballots. All in all, I can't wait to see what you have about my thoughts in the comment section below. And just know, we will never have a perfect ballot. I know that. And due to that, I will always be here to talk about these year after year, because there's always going to be some type of odd selection. But as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new, as my vision for this channel is to inform and entertain. Again, check out my social medias for the inside life of Alvini and other channel news. Check out my Twitch where I stream weekly. I have to go through shit like this all the time. Any more?
Oh, nigga, you gay. Oh, nigga, you gay.
Any more?
Oh, nigga, you gay. Oh, nigga, you gay.
Let a nigga stream.
Oh, nigga, you gay.
Let a nigga stream. Dude, you.
Oh, nigga, you gay.
And lastly, if you want to talk to your boy, there is always my Discord. Links are in the description. With all that out of the way, this is your boy, Alvini Linguine, saying peace. And yes, I meant everything I said about LeBron James being on the all-NBA third team seriously. That was no satire. That was all serious.